俺は選ぶぞ。夢を諦めて死んでくれ。獣の巨人は俺が仕留める。
This is one of the most compelling scenes in Attack on Titan, between two of the most interesting and beloved characters. But why? Why are three of the best episodes of Attack on Titan based around this relationship? Why are we so invested in Levi's mission alongside Erwin's dream? Today, let's talk about these characters, their relationship, and how they propelled Attack on Titan into popularity. Erwin Smith has always had these eyebrows. It's slightly worrying, in all honesty, but he's lived, mostly, so I'm sure it's fine. Alongside his eyebrows, Erwin has always had a disposition for curiosity, truly thinking about the world and questioning its truths, but some answers were meant to go unspread. After asking his father how the history books could be so objective, his father only has theories, but these theories are implanted into Erwin, beginning to grow a seed that will lead him forever in the search for the truth of this world. The final drop needed before the search begins is the death of Erwin's father. Not only were the history books possibly written to display a false truth, but the government was willing to kill civilians in order to keep their secret, and Erwin is the reason that his father died, telling others of a theory only proposed because he didn't realize the gravity of ideas. And so Erwin seeks to validate him and his father's ideas of the outside world, all the while attempting to fix the government from within. He originally continues spreading his ideas, but slowly stops, allowing him to rise to a position not restricted by his beliefs. He quickly gains recognition as a fantastic leader with his genius strategy, willingness to make gambles, and salesman-like persuasion. Being placed at the head of the Survey Corps, every small victory is now a glance into understanding the world, and he is still enthralled every time. When the female Titan allows herself to be eaten, Erwin stares in disbelief and comments on how he didn't expect the enemy to be willing to throw everything away. And later, once the truth of the Titans are revealed, everyone in the room is disquieted, but Erwin can't help but be excited. To make it to this point, Erwin couldn't have just been anyone with a dream. He was truly willing to sacrifice anything and would fight alongside his comrades in order to progress his own goal. But that's the thing. Everyone else was fighting for humanity itself, while Erwin was fighting for his dream alone. This is why Erwin calls himself a con man. He couldn't convince others to fight for his dream, but he could convince them to fight for humanity. So that's what he did, sending a countless number of people to their death, all the while striving to uncover the truth him and his father believed. While Erwin was born with a natural curiosity that led him to question the world, Levi was born with a goal: to escape the world he had been trapped in. At first, this escape was directed at the underground, but then his focus changed to the walls, and lastly the focus was Erwin's final command. Gojo's time in the... Damn, I have been watching way too much JJK, let's try that again. Levi's time in the underground is what formed his perception of others and the world. Levi was naturally gifted as an Ackerman, and being raised by Kenny made him one of the strongest. But not everyone there was, so he takes others in and helps where he can, all in the hopes of one day escaping to the surface. And then he does, with Furlan and Isabel. I just want to talk about the canon of these characters for a second, because they're not fully addressed in the manga or anime, as they weren't made by Izuyama, but I think this makes way too much sense for Levi's backstory as to why he's so used to death, but also how he can still connect with others. So for the purpose of this analysis, I will be taking it as fully canon. After leaving the underground with Furlan and Isabel, they not only escape the cavern, but are able to see a world unburdened by walls and the hope that comes with that. These are the people Levi has survived alongside for years, and he saved them over and over again. But now the world doesn't look so bleak, and even Levi begins to let down his own walls. But before they can realize it, there's a price that must be paid for that hope, and the people Levi cared for are dead, as he's left alone, no one to escape for. Until Erwin provides him with the idea of something bigger than himself, something Levi can't yet grasp, but understands is worth fighting for. And so he does, listening to Erwin and giving meaning to the deaths of his comrades. Our first actual introduction to Levi in Attack on Titan is him killing Titans and being by the side of a fallen comrade. And this never changes. Throughout the years, Levi has been placed in charge of many people, and he cares for all of them. But not only that, he cares for members of the Corps he barely even knows. A really nice character moment between Levi and Hanji is later in the story when discussing the coup d'etat. Levi apologizes for the death of the people she entrusted him. It's weird to say, but Kenny put it perfectly at the end of his life, saying everyone is a slave to something, and that Levi is a hero, a slave to saving others. The absolute best part about this dynamic between the two is their trust for each other. There's no unnecessary worry that the other won't do what they've promised, and there's no moment where either would ever consider betraying the other. Their trust is proved again and again throughout the story. Early on, Erwin gives Erwin to Levi. Erwin has just placed a massive target on the back of the Survey Corps, and Erwin believes he could be the key to understanding the world outside the walls. Protecting him is of the utmost importance, and Erwin gives that task to Levi. Similarly, later in the story, Erwin entrusts Levi with the Titan serum that has the possibility to save a life and turn someone into a Titan shifter. On the other hand, Levi always follows Erwin's commands, entrusting him with his life. During the female Titan arc, there are multiple times when Erwin elects to keep big decisions from other Corps members, so Levi rides into battle, keeping his team, the people he wants to save, out of the loop. And later, when Erwin tells Levi to refill his gas, Levi doesn't know why, but he trusts Erwin's judgment completely. The most interesting part about this trust is their wildly differing beliefs, which are best displayed in the reveal of the true nature of Titans. In this scene, Connie and Hanji have just revealed that the true identity of Titans could be human beings. Levi's reaction to this is to ask if he's been spending all of this time and energy killing people. Although unconfirmed, Levi's first thought is towards the human beings that he's killed, but Erwin is giddy. He can't help but smile as another truth about the world has been peeled back, and after Erwin comments on this, Levi says the cost of truth is too many lives, but Erwin remains steadfast and says that they've made another step towards the truth. These two men are completely different, but have since been led by a common idea of no regrets. Erwin pushes forward no matter the cost in order to fulfill his goal, and Levi follows Erwin in the hopes to help humanity escape. This is a major reason as to why Levi is willing to kill others in the royal government arc. He believes Erwin can help the world, so he is willing to kill anyone that threatens that progress or his comrades. And everyone in the center of the Survey Corps mimics this ideology. Marco tries to relay information about the Titans, Mike dies to give his comrades time to escape, and countless Corps members are killed, giving way to humanity's freedom and Erwin's truth, which finally leads us to the return to Shiganshina arc. This arc is the culmination of layered and complex storytelling over the course of 3 seasons, with 2 of the largest moments in the entire series being based around the relationship between Levi and Erwin. This led multiple episodes to be ranked among the highest in the series and the highest of all time, all of which come down to Erwin's sacrifices and Levi's promise. After returning to Shiganshina, it's a series of back and forth between the Titan shifters and the Survey Corps, until Erwin is placed between a rock and a lot of faster moving rocks. Levi is willing to die for the sake of humanity, to help Erwin escape. Earlier on, Levi wanted Erwin to stay, as he was a wounded soldier, but more importantly, he had a vision, a path for the future, or so it seemed, and Levi had never regretted following him. In this situation, Erwin could make a plan that would place humanity farther ahead, but he'd finally made it. He was a stone's throw away from the truth. He could finally prove his father's theories correct, and prove that all of the deaths he'd caused were worth it. But that's not why they died, and Erwin knows that. For once, he's stuck between choosing humanity and choosing his dream. As Erwin sits there thinking on his fallen comrades, Levi finally understands. When talking to Erwin previously, he didn't understand why he would place himself at such a risk, but now Levi finally grasps what he couldn't all those years ago. Erwin has been pushing forward for his own sake, and this is a turning point. So for the first time in their relationship, Levi makes a choice for Erwin. Erwin's speech after this is the first one he entirely believes. He's finally giving meaning to the deaths of the people before him, and hoping that people after can derive meaning from his death. In this moment, Erwin finally dedicates his heart to humanity and leaves everything to Levi. Erwin's final glance has me constantly thinking about it. At first, there's an expression of pain and possibly confusion, but after that, he regains his composure and looks back towards the Beast Titan with an expression that could say he knows, in the long run, Levi will kill him. Erwin's final order to Levi leads directly to one of the coolest action scenes in the entire series. But after some light torture, Zeke escapes, and that last order will drive Levi to the end of the series. But right now, he has a choice to make. Throughout this entire encounter of Mikasa, Eren, and Floch all begging him to make the choice that they would make, nothing changes Levi's mind. For a moment, he thinks of Erwin as the commander he once pretended to be, one that only sought to help humanity. But Levi is reminded of Erwin's true goal.
エルヴィン。
先生、壁の外に人類がいないって、どうやって調べたんですか?
Erwin was a kid with a dream that made him one of the greatest humans to ever exist. But after he no longer had to be drunk on his dream, would he keep pushing forward? Armin was that kid. He wanted to see the world and everything it had to offer. He was only beginning on his journey. Erwin had done his time, became a devil, and pushed forward until his end. And this is where Levi had decided to let him rest.
Levi, ありがとう.
From here, Levi still had his mission to kill the Beast Titan, but before he could do that, he helps others as much as he can. Following Hanji allowed him to see the world that Erwin was never able to know. But it also began a question for not only Levi, but everyone. Now that the humanity they had fought for wants to kill them, how could they be the ones to save it? Throughout the entire show, whenever he's given the choice, Levi has always chosen to save others, even though it constantly brings him personal suffering. As Levi takes a side stage to the more center conflict between nations, he is given a choice: kill Zeke and fulfill his promise, or attempt to work with him in order to save the most amount of lives. As betrayals continue to unfold, Levi wonders if he was wrong, if Eren was worth all the death it took to save him. But as everyone once told him to do, Levi stops and thinks. The Beast Titan is who has truly caused the most pain and killed the most of his comrades. But instead of killing him, Levi considers who to feed him to. But by this point, it's too late. Levi once again loses his soldiers and is forced to kill them, which leads to a true rematch between Zeke and Levi, in which Levi drops one of his hardest lines of all time.
部下を巨人にしてからって俺が仲間を殺せないと思ったのか。俺たちがどれだけ仲間を殺してきたか知らねえだろうに。
But once again, he leaves Zeke alive, and it causes him to be irreparably harmed, taking his finger and an eye. This forces him to sit back and watch while more and more people die, as his own core turns against itself and comrades kill comrades. Finally, Hanji asks him, just like Erwin did back then, and just like back then, she sacrifices herself to save others. Hanji represented the last of the original Survey Corps. One of my favorite motifs throughout the end of the series is Hanji and the Wings of Freedom. When discussing who should have been chosen, Hanji says she would have chosen Erwin, and in that frame it shows her displaying the Wings of Freedom while everyone else is looking at her. And in these final scenes, she is the last person to be wearing her Survey Corps cape. As Levi tells her to dedicate her heart, Hanji is now prepared to die, while Levi says goodbye to his friend and is now being sent off to complete his mission.
心臓を捧げよ。
君が言ってんの初めて聞いたよ。
じゃあな、ハンジ。
Levi's moment of reflection during the fight with Eren is personally one of my favorite moments in the entire series. He's made it so far, but in doing so, many of his friends and comrades have died. In this moment, Levi doubts his own abilities, and wonder if his and the Survey Corps' time was in the past, if he'll never be able to fulfill his promise, and lastly, if all of his friends died so others could be massacred. The difference in the manga and the anime here is actually really interesting. In the manga, Levi Levi says the dream all of you had, while in the anime he says the world of Titans that we all dream of. In the manga, Levi is placing them above himself, saying that they are all fighting for the exact same dream, but he only does it because he believes in their ideals. While in the anime, he makes all of them as one big group, everyone with the same ideals and same dream. As the anime has other better contributions, Erwin Armin, I'm just going to be taking that one as more canon. Levi sees their idealism as something that was worth dedicating all their hearts for. Finally, Levi addresses Erwin, repeating the idea that they lived by, no regrets for their decisions. Levi entrusts the world to a new generation who had that reckless idealism they once had. And finally, Levi is prepared to complete his mission. Zeke appears and Levi ends his mission right there, concluding the rumbling and stopping any more innocent lives from being taken. As the others fight to kill Eren, we sadly don't get to see what Eren said to Levi before the end. I would like to think in that conversation, Eren thanked Levi for teaching him how to live in this world and protecting him, as Levi got a couple more good kicks in. Finally, all the lives that were lost had truly been worth it. They had all been watching until the end, and the mission set out by the Survey Corps has been completed, as its final member continues to dedicate his heart. Erwin Smith and Levi Ackerman are two of the most compelling characters in Attack on Titan, with one of the most interesting character dynamics. Erwin's dream of understanding the world and proving his father's theories gave him a goal to complete, setting him apart from other members of the Corps. Levi's knowledge of his own strength, which others lacked, made him strive to save as many as possible, and in seeking to save humanity, he was able to help their progress in countless ways, all the while suffering the death of comrade after comrade. With one of the most compelling character deaths ever written, Erwin's impact was felt all the way towards the end of the series as we followed Levi's final mission and his pain of being the sole survivor. Our connection to the dynamic between the dreamer and the hero causes not only their story, but the entire series to be skyrocketed in popularity, and these characters' impacts on the lives of many will be felt outside the beautiful realm of animation for countless time to come. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. I shit you not, I have been tweaking this script for 6 weeks. Originally it was half as long, but then I scrapped that one, and then it was doubly as long, and I scrapped that one, and now we're here at a nice middle point. I don't know how long this video is. I haven't edited it yet. But that has taught me to stop making promises about when I'm going to release videos and I'm just going to release them. With that said, I'll see you guys next Saturday at 12 a.m. with a video on JJK. Doodles.